and there are terms that are descriptive of, or limited to, the plant world. Some of these words may have other meanings in different fields, but understanding this terminology as it applies to flowers will help in the comprehension of plant form and function. Thus, I have included some of both the common and the more esoteric of those terms herein. Lucky are those whose lives and work revolve around flowers. Not only gardeners and horticulturalists, floral designers and creators in the decorative arts, but also botanical explorers, scientific illustrators, perfumers, and all those whose works of music, dance, painting, literature, and the other arts are inspired by flowers. Some of those people are profiled in this book. Achlorophyllous plants. Plants that have no chlorophyll and are thus not green. Therefore, they cannot photosynthesize to produce their own food. Among these plants are parasites and mycoheterotrophs, plants that obtain their food via an association with the fungus. The fungus absorbs carbohydrates from a photosynthetic host plant by attaching its thread-like hyphae to the fine roots of the host, often a tree, and transport the nutrients to a non-photosynthetic plant. Familiar plants that utilize this lifestyle include beech drops, Epiphagus virginiana, an obligate parasite on the roots of beech trees, and Indian pipe, Monotropa uniflora, a mycoheterotrophic plant. Beech drop seedlings attach themselves to the small roots of beech trees, forming a physiological bridge, the haustorium, between the host and the parasite. Although beech drops derive all their water and nutrients from the host tree, they do not appear to harm the tree. Mature beech drop plants are brownish-white and produce two types of flowers: bud-like cleistogamous closed flowers that never open, and larger, relatively showier, chasmogamous open flowers. Cleistogamous flowers produce most of the seeds, which are dispersed from the open fruits by raindrops. The stick-like brown remnants of beech drops persist throughout the winter. Indian pipe is a waxy white flowering plant that is sometimes mistaken for a fungus. Before mycorrhizal relationships between plants and fungi were known, it was thought that such plants absorbed their nutrition from decaying leaf litter. They were then called saprophytes. It is now documented that certain fungal partners in the family Russulaceae serve as conduits for food and mineral resources produced by nearby trees to the Indian pipe plant. The host trees receive nothing in return from the Indian pipe. Thus, Indian pipe is indirectly parasitic on the host tree. The related multi-flowered pine sap, Monotropa hypopedes, has a similar lifestyle. Angel, Bobby, 1955 to present. One of today's most prolific botanical artists, who carries on the long tradition of illustrating plant species that scientists are describing as new to science or writing about for other publications. During her college years as a botany student, Bobby's talent for illustrating plants in her taxonomy class became evident, prompting her professor to encourage her to consider a career as a botanical illustrator. It is this combination of botanical knowledge and artistic skill that makes Bobby Angel one of the most sought-after contemporary botanical artists. Before the advent of photography, most scientific expeditions included an artist to document the collections made on the expedition. In today's world of curtailed plant exploration and limited funding for such expeditions, several scientists, realizing the value of having a trained botanical artist accompany them in the field to draw living plants in situ, have managed to procure the necessary funding for Bobby to join them on expeditions to such places as South American rainforests, southwestern deserts, Caribbean islands, and European mountains. Bobby's field sketches provide invaluable reference material when she returns home to begin the scientific illustrations that document the plants collected. In cases when she has not been able to observe the living plants, Bobby is skilled at reconstructing three-dimensional depictions of the plant's habit from two-dimensional herbarium specimens and dried or pickled flowers. Using a dissecting microscope, Bobby makes detailed drawings of flower parts, leaf surfaces, seeds, and other diagnostic details that show all aspects of a plant. Her keen eye and botanical expertise have allowed her to point out hidden details to the scientists who might not have otherwise noticed them.